everybody, you're watching Headbangers Lifestyle. I'm Lilo. I'm here with Ruud Jolie, and he's the guitarist of With Him Temptation.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about tattoos today. As you can see here, you have a huge sleeve on your arm. When did you have your first tattoo actually? Which one is it?
That was this one. This black and white phoenix. It used to have some smoke, but that has been covered up. The reason why I chose for this position is that, you know, since I'm a guitar player, I always stand like this on stage. So I thought that this was a pretty cool place for my tattoo. And when did I get it? 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't remember. Not that long ago actually. Back then it was very fashionable to have a tattoo here as a guitar player, which I think is still really cool, which I might do one day. But this I haven't seen that much. And I remember that I told the tattoo artist that I wanted to have it on the inner side of my bicep, and maybe I wanted to have a little bit down on my forearm. And he started drawing, and before I knew it, my whole arm was covered. So and I was like, fuck it. So if you do a tattoo, then do it well.
Do it well. Yeah. So you first started with this one. Why particular this image actually?
Well, I like the symbolism of a phoenix. You know, that it burns itself and rises out of the ashes. That's pretty much the only symbolism thing I have in my tattoos. The rest are just plain images of things that mean a lot to me.
Okay, then you had your first tattoo, then you decided to go with the next one, or did you do this sleeve really?
Then I decided,
quickly,
yeah, it was done in 1 year time, so not even that quickly, but by then I knew that I wanted to have a full sleeve, and I started on top with this Royal Imperial Guard, or Imperial Royal Guard, whatever, Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan since as long as I can remember, since I was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. And I chose for this images from Return of the Jedi, and it's one of the guards of the Emperor. I'm a geek.
You're a geek.
No, Richie Faulkner of Judas Priest always says, "No man, say it with pride," and he's totally right about that. So that's this one. And you know, as some of you might know, I'm a pretty huge Iron Maiden fan, and this Eddie here.
Yeah, this is the Peace of Mind cover.
Yes.
Why exactly that one? Because Eddie has so many, you know, shades of things and looks.
Well, Peace of Mind is my favorite album. It was the very first album I bought on cassette tape back then, even. And yeah, I really like this one. You know, I could have also chosen different ones, but what I also like about this is that it's in color, but it's a pretty monotone image. Pretty much all yellow. This is pretty much all red. This one is pretty much all blue, but we'll come to that later. So that's also something that I liked.
What you have here? Who is this? This is kind of Batman, I think.
This is Batman. Yeah. I'm also a comic book fan. Well, I used to be not that much anymore, but this reminds me from back when I was a kid. We had this bookstore on the corner of my street. It was a second-hand bookstore, and they also sold comic books. And I don't know, before I got an allowance, a weekly allowance, I got 1 guilder. That was the currency that we had back then in the Netherlands. That's about how much? 50 cents or something. Yeah. Well, it was worth a bit more back then, of course.
Yeah.
But my dad always gave me one guilder, and I would run to the bookstore on a Saturday morning and bought myself either a Spider-Man or a Batman or whatever. And even though that I might like Spider-Man a bit more, I thought, yeah, but then you have a lot of red again. So I chose Batman, which I also love for the contrast, color-wise.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Batman is that he's pretty much the only superhero who doesn't have superpowers.
Oh. Yeah.
He's just human, just like you and me, but
Yeah.
he's just filthy rich. And with that he can buy all kinds of nice goodies. So
Yeah. So then you have here kind of a...
that's a gargoyle he's sitting on. This is one big image.
Oh, okay, that's a big part. Yeah. So that belongs together. And then you have these birds here, swans, I think?
These are all different birds.
And why did you do that one?
These are the inlays of Paul Reed Smith guitars.
Interesting.
And I wanted to have a reference to my profession, but I didn't want to have a plain guitar on my arm, which could be cool. You know, I different things always work with different people, and it's in the end it's all a matter of taste. But I decided to have the position markers, the inlays of one of my favorite guitar brands, Paul Reed Smith guitars, and have a very subtle tattoo of my profession, being a guitar player. And it was actually the idea of the two artists to only do the outlines, to not fill them in with color. And at first I was like, man, that's weird. But since I'm quite pale, he said, yeah, but it's a really cool contrast, and you create some form of depth in it with it. And I think he's right. And a nice bonus is that he didn't have to go on this really painful part with his needle. So I was like, good idea, great.
Good idea. So what do you have here? Here you have what's this?
This is the Imperial logo of Star Wars, and this is these two things belong to each other.
Together.
So this is also a Star Wars reference. I didn't have. This is the recent thing. It was actually already done with this, but for some reason I thought it missed something, so I went back and got this one done.
Yeah.
And
this is just colored up.
Yeah. And in the end, I regret a little bit that I didn't have one or two more birds incorporated in it, so that it's one-time thing. But at first this was only black, and when I was standing here, this was all filled, and this was white, and he was like, nah, we need to do some more, and some more. So this is the only thing that maybe didn't get enough attention. Yeah. On the other hand, I understand how it is. It's not that bad. But in the end, I regret a little bit. Yeah, I could have incorporated one or two more birds in it.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the right.
That's right. Because and then there's nothing. We have this lady or guy.
It's a guy. This is the character of the cover of my solo album, For All We Know, and that was one thing I always wanted to do, is to release a solo album, because I've recorded many albums, but it was always a with Indentation, it's a collaboration, and decisions are made, and blah blah blah. With Maiden Unite, same thing, but this, For All We Know, that was just an album that I really created myself, and I was really proud of it, and I still am. But I invested a lot of my own money in it. But once I got that money back, from sales and stuff like that, I was like, okay, now I think that this was a successful project, even though that a lot of people haven't heard of it at all. But I don't care about that. I wrote an album, and it didn't cost me any money. It only cost me a lot of time and calories. But that's why I wanted to have it on my arm.
Yeah. So it's quite personal what you have on your arm in the end.
I think that's what tattoos should be. Always, I think.
And what was the main reason actually to get the complete sleeve? Like you say, it feels a little bit like an addiction. Once you have one, there's a second one. And
I just wanted to look like a badass, and now I think I do.
On stage.
Yeah, and off stage.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Once you start.
Yeah.
And I always liked sleeves.
Why?
It looks cool. Yeah, you have a nice collage of all kinds of different images, which I like.
How much money did you invest in this?
To be really honest, I never really calculated it. I thought it would be depressing.
Tattoos are really popular these days. Why do you think that is? It seems like everybody has a tattoo, young, old, doesn't matter.
I think one of the main reasons is that tattoos have been socially accepted these days. Back in the days when, of our parents' generation, you saw a lot of people with green anchors and mothers and ships and stuff, and they were usually from a certain environment, sailor people, or maybe people who some criminal activity kind of stuff. So people were easily judged. People with tattoos back then, and nowadays it's not at all like that anymore. It's even, especially in the rock and metal scene, it's almost exceptional if you don't have any tattoo. If you walk backstage on a festival somewhere, everyone, like you said, everyone has tattoos. So if you want to stand out from the crowd, kids, don't take a tattoo. Nah, but take a tattoo, get a tattoo if you like it.
Yeah.
That's not the thing. Don't get one if you to be fashionable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides, I can still tell my mom that I have only one tattoo, so basically it's true.
Yeah. Were they shocked, or was it?
Well, my mom, she's pretty. My dad was more like, especially when he saw Batman, he took my arm. You're a 35-year-old guy. What do you want? Why do you want Batman on your arm? It's like, maybe a little bit old-fashioned, but in a way I understand it. But
have you met Within Temptation fans who maybe tattooed your face or your name or your autograph in their body?
My face I haven't seen yet, but my autograph, yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, autographs I think it's really not weird, but it's special. Let's put it like that. A couple of weeks ago, when I was in the UK with Maiden United, I saw a guy who had our logo, on his back. It was this huge. And my first reaction when I see people with Temptation tattoos is always like, why? But then I remind myself that I have an Iron Maiden tattoo, so it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And when I realize that, I feel really honored that people want to walk around with something from my band.
Yeah. But if someone does a portrait of your face on the arm or leg or whatever, what do you think of that?
Well, I've seen some Sharon tattoos. Some are really nicely done. Yeah. I myself wouldn't do it unless it's a real legendary person. In a way, it's a pretty big responsibility that we have, that I sometimes feel when I see someone with a tattoo. It's like, I hope that we won't disappoint you in the future, with whatever we're doing.
Do you have a tip for people who wants to get their first tattoo?
Really investigate or get into styles of certain artists, or if you see someone with a really nice tattoo, just go up to him or her and ask where he had it done. And when I was in the chair at the tattoo place, I've seen it happen so often when someone walks in, hands over the design and asks, first question, how much would this be? That's something that should not be on the top of your list. Mm-hmm. Price, how expensive it is, because that's in the end that's not relevant. Ask him if he can do it, or if you've done your homework, you already know if he could do it, if that's his style. And then you should really don't be afraid to pay a little bit more, because then you get quality, because it's on your body for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Good tip. That's all, folks.
Thank you for watching Headbangers Lifestyle.